say something. So just put your hand up if you there's a little hand thing there. So we just push that, and I'll know that you're ready to ask a question. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining me today. This is the foundation of your success in creating any business, whether it be a business online or a business offline. So it's where you need to start. So today we're going to discover, I think there's a few more than 7 steps, but we'll go through them anyway. Please, if you've got any questions, throw them in the chat bar. Make sure that you have the door shut, piece of pen and paper, so that you can go through the questions. And yes, it is being recorded, so I'll be able to send you out a link after so you can go through. So let's get this party started. So, have you ever wondered what would it be like to work for yourself? I know that that is a dream for a lot of people. However, it's a very scary dream. Have you ever thought about spending all day with your children? Now that I have a grandchild, I cannot think of anything more enlightening for me to spend all day with her rather than her be at a daycare. When my kids were little, I only worked for a few months, and then I realized that I didn't want anyone else to look after them, so I stayed at home and created businesses that allowed me to stay at home and look after my children, and I'll share that with you more as we go. But for many of us, it's like a dream, and like I said, now I've got a grandchild, all I want to do is be able to work, create money, and stay home with her. Some people want to travel the world, and that's one of my passions, and it's definitely on the bucket list, is to travel to more places all over the world. I've done a bit of traveling, but yes, that's on my bucket list. Maybe you would like to create a lifestyle that you want, and that can be anything, you know. Your lifestyle can be whatever you want. When I did my life coaching training, they said, you know, pick what your perfect day would look like. So that can be different for all of us, but, you know, wouldn't it be nice to be able to do that each and every day? And maybe if you're, you know, not ready to retire, but you just want to earn some few extra dollars. I've got people that I know that are maybe 5 to 10 years older than me and are still working, and they can't see any light at the end of the tunnel. So maybe that's what we want to do. Maybe, you know, we want to just do something that gives us that extra money and freedom, so we're not stuck at a 9 to 5 job. What would it be like doing what you love every single day? I must say that I am at that place now where there's no aspect of my work life or making income that I don't enjoy. I can stay up till midnight watching webinars. I can get up early and, you know, travel to another part of the country to do training. It doesn't matter. I do love what I do. I honestly believe life's too short to be spending time with people who take your happiness away from you. And what's normal and what's a dream, you know? Normal for some people is getting dressed in clothes that you buy for work, driving through traffic in a car that you are still paying for in order to get to a job that you need to pay for the car, the clothes, the house that you leave empty all day in order to afford it. You know, every time I see that, I go, wow, really? You know, is that normal? Or is it a dream? You know, again, it's up to you, but because you're here on this online training, I know that you are looking for something more than 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is just over broke. Having a job, JOB, stands for just over broke. We work for the first 2 days of the week to pay our taxes, and then the rest of the week, which leaves about 3 days, we have to actually budget and pay for our expenses. So for my what's the word? My belief, or my mantra is that profits in a business are better than wages. So that's just where I come from. Your future is created by what you do today, not what you do tomorrow. And that's Robert Kiyosaki. I think I might have spelt that wrong. I got a bad habit of doing that. Anyway, roll with me. So have you ever wanted to write a book? Everybody's got a book in them. I don't care who you are. You do have a book in you. Do you want to teach a course? Do you want to have an online business? Do you want to work wherever you want to work, or wherever you are? Do you want to work from your laptop or your iPhone or your iPad? Maybe you're just looking for a few extra dollars for Christmas, or maybe a holiday for the family, or even save up for new home. Have you ever wondered how others are doing it? That's the question, isn't it? Well, if you have wondered about any of that, you're in the right place, because you may want to work from home. You might want to earn more cash. You might be sick of the job, just over broke 9 to 5. You might be looking for a smarter solution to start a successful business. And you may need guidance and a plan to know where to start. So that's what we're going to cover today. Now, just on successful or success is different to each and every one of us. For me, success might be just staying home all week and playing with my granddaughter, but still having some sort of passive income. Success for you might be traveling the world on a speaking gig. It doesn't matter what it is, but you need to define what success is for you, or you won't know if you're actually getting there. And maybe you're serious about making a change. So if any of those sort of ring true to you, then you definitely are in the right place. Now, ladies and gentlemen, housekeeping, you can't multitask. That is it's said that women can multitask, but we can't. It's not physically possible. We think we're multitasking, but we're actually doing a little bit of everything, so nothing actually gets done. So today, no multitasking. Shut down your web browser, except for this one. Turn off social media, turn off your phone, put it on silent, close the door and grab some pen and paper, because you're going to need that for the next task. So no multitasking, focus. You don't want to spend time rewatching this webinar replay because you forgot something. Let's get all the information out of it today and then have the webinar as a resource for you. So at the end of the webinar, I do have a gift for you. Now this gift, I can't even put a price on it, because it will change your life if you take it and you run with it and you do it. So I'm going to keep you on in a surprise mode until the end. So are you ready? Are you ready to create a successful business? It really is not that difficult. However, unfortunately, more than, I think the stats are about 80% of businesses fail within the first year. I wonder why that is. Why do you think businesses fail within the first 2 years? Well, you know, really in hindsight, a lot of businesses fail because they don't have the cash flow. They come up with a great idea, they run with it, they don't do any foundations, they don't check out who their target market is, and then they exhaust all their cash or their savings or their super or whatever they've got to actually run with this business. They've exhausted it all, and then they go, well, it didn't work out for me. And I see it happen a lot of times. I've seen it happen a lot of times with all the different clients that I have worked with, where they just don't have the foundations set properly. So are you ready to get those foundations set properly? I hope so. So what led me to this live training? Well, for those of you that don't know me, my passion and my purpose in life is to share what knowledge I have with everybody. So I've always been in business. My first business I bought when I was 18, and I'll share the story with you because it's quite funny. I was in Cooktown and I decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I'd only been working for a couple of years as a PAYG, and I thought, you know what, my parents were always self-employed. There's got to be a better way to do this. My father wanted me to become a real estate agent then, and I should have, in hindsight, took him up on that, but I didn't, because what does Dad know? You know, they don't know as much as we do at 18. So anyway, I bought off the Sergeant of Police a 30 scooter and 10 push bike moped business, hire business. And I was in Cooktown, and it was 1986 or something like that. And the Quicksilver was bringing tourists from Cairns to Cooktown every day. So we had about 400 or 500 people every day coming into the little town. So I thought, this is a great opportunity, you know, like I went to the police sergeant. He said he only wanted $3,000 for it. I thought, that's great. Did a bit of market research. I knew the Quicksilver brought in 400 people. I only had to hire out 10% of my bikes, and, you know, at $20 a day or something, I was making, you know, what's that, $200 a day, there's, $5,000 a week. Wow, that was more than my $320 a week wage that I had. So I thought, this is a no-brainer. Went to the bank, I borrowed $3,500, gave myself $500 working capital. A couple of the bikes were a little bit in need of maintenance, and away I went. Wow, first month, every morning I was still working, thank goodness. I would get my partner, who ended up being my husband, to drive me down to the wharf with a trailer, pull all the bikes off, rent them out. Bob's your uncle, so to speak. Anyway, it was great. I did make about $4,000 in that first month. And then the boat stopped coming to Cooktown. My audience, my target market dried up as quick as I started. Now, did I know that? No, I didn't know that. Did the police sergeant know that? Of course he knew that. Otherwise, why was he selling his business to an 18-year-old? And good on him. And it was my fault for not doing the market research to see how long this business was going to be sustainable. I didn't lose any money. I ended up having the bikes. My girlfriends and I would ride a different bike to work every day. And then in about 12 months, I eventually sold the bikes off one by one. So that was my first business success story. And yeah, it was a success because yes, I made money and I didn't lose money, but there was a lot of lessons to be learned from that. I've always been self-employed and or working part-time, but I've always had a business running on the side. I've done bookkeeping, accounting, tax returns, mortgage brokering, real estate agent. Yes, I did listen to Dad later on in life and become my own real estate agency. Life and business coaching. I still business coach personal trainers all over Australia, and a trainer. And here I am today wanting to share with you my experience and what I've seen from my clients as well, more importantly, because when you're on the outside looking in, you can see what people are doing and how they can fast track their success. So here we go. I've done a lot of things right, absolutely, but I've also done a lot of things wrong. And for me, the biggest mistake that I do, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, is the bright, shiny object syndrome. And yes, it's an actual disorder. When you're an entrepreneur, you always think about, the next best thing. However, for me, there's always a bright, shiny object that will take me away from my core business or my core focus or my core line of income. And I'm the first one to put my hand up and say, I can do everything. Well, we can't. So before I found the key to success, and it did take me, a few years to work this out, I spent way too much money, always buying the next bright and shiny object, especially in the place of social media and business coaching, because there's so many tools and tricks and things out there that, say that that'll make this easier, that'll make that easier. And then my justification is, well, if I buy that, then I can teach that to my clients and my business coaching clients. Well, that is true, but I don't need to buy everything. So I've spent way too much money. Somebody in my training asked me a few weeks ago, how much has it cost me to get here? And I just said they don't need to know that, because let's just say I could buy a small house. I've spent too many hours networking. Oh my goodness, you need to network. Don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. You need to network. You need to get your face out there. However, I spent too many hours going to these networking events, and I won't name them, and never, ever, ever got a lead. The reason I didn't get a lead was because my product or my service wasn't hitting the needs of that audience there and then. I was 4 and 5 years in front of them. So I spent too many hours networking. The other big mistake I made was I gave away my time. So when you first start out in business, you want to attract everybody, as you do. So I was having people ringing me up saying, can I have a coffee and talk to you? And coffee for me was code for, wow, I've got a client that's interested in my services. Of course I'll go and see them. But what happened was, because we want to share and we want to impress, I didn't have a plan around those meetings. So I found myself doing 10 to 15 hours in coffee shops with these potential clients who really at the end of the half an hour, they were walking away with more information than they were wanting to and didn't have to pay for it. So in my follow-up, they were like, no, we're fine now. You know, of course they're fine. I've just given them a whole, you know, business structure in half an hour, and they didn't even pay for my coffee. So of course they're fine. So I really had to reel that or rein that in, so that now I don't do coffee shop appointments anymore unless you're paying for my time. So yeah, I gave away a lot of my time thinking that that was going to result in work, which it didn't. And like I said, I chase these bright and shiny objects, and I still do, but I have to be very aware of what I'm doing. I have gone, I have, and you have your what we call, well, what I call a genius zone. This is what you do, and this is what you do really well. Each and every one of us have a genius zone. It's just a matter of working out what that is. Welcome. We've got a few more people on the call, so welcome. You need to be doing what everyone else is not doing. Now that can be as scary as all hell, because I've always done what everybody else is not doing, and you really don't have a lot of support because nobody else is doing it. And you also don't know whether you're doing it right because you don't have anything to fall back on. So just keep that in mind, that, you know, being a little bit left field with your product or your service or your business is going to be okay. There's a thing called the competition treadmill. So this is what happens in business world. If everybody else is doing it, including your competition, you will normally follow them. So if they're building a website, you will. If you see them do a Facebook ad, you'll do it. If you see them do a boosted post, you'll do it. If it's easy enough for you to do, everybody else is going to do it too. So you've got to think again outside the square, and that's where, well, you know, when you tap into your genius zone, you are going to become a genius, because you'll get ideas and you'll create a space where this brilliance will come, and you'll wonder where it comes from. Now, if you are a bright and shiny object, person, then I strongly suggest that you get a book. And I speak from experience. You get a little book that you can write down all these bright ideas, because not all of them you are going to chase, okay? So you don't want to be running off chasing all these brilliant ideas. So get yourself a book and write them in, have it on your desk, and then just start sifting through those ideas as you work out what you're going to do with your business in regards to marketing or websites or whatever. Okay? So go to the place that your competitors aren't. So this can be a tricky one. You really want to look at your competitors, and you want to look at what they're not doing well, and you want to make your business shine in that space. I hope that makes sense. Sorry, just having a drink of water. If it doesn't, write it down, put it in the chat, and we'll come back and cover that for you. So let's have a look at tradition. So back in the 1990s, we all loved face-to-face interaction. That's the way we did business, right? We met somebody, we had lunch with them, and that's where the business deal, you know, eventuated. We gave them a business card, or somebody talked about it at a barbecue. Well, really, you know, nothing much has changed, except for in 2000 we went online. So for the business world, everybody said, great, I don't need to do this horrible face-to-face networking. For us in the real estate business, you know, the idea was, well, we don't need to do any cold calling to chase, you know, clients for the houses or for the potential sale, and we all went online. Well, actually, not all of us. Most of us had this feeling that if you went online, it would be a lot easier. Well, that's so far from the truth, because a lot of businesses went online and didn't do it very well, and are still sitting there twiddling their thumbs wondering, how do they get leads and sales? So regardless of whether your business is offline or online, you still need a mix of both face-to-face interaction, and I say networking, but don't become a networking queen and, you know, knock yourself out. Spending all this time and effort, and if you do, make sure you have a strategy, and make sure you follow up, and make sure you actually get a lead or a sale from every networking event, and mix it with your online world. I don't believe that you can do one or the other, because people will go looking. There's an expectation now, because we've gone online in the business world, there is an expectation that people will go and Google you. So if they want to work out who you are, they're going to throw your name into Google. So you need to have some sort of presence there that they can follow up, and they can get confirmation of who and what you said you can do. The other thing is that, you know, the Facebook pages, even though they're not great for organic reach, people are going to expect that you have a Facebook page as well. So you need to have that. So keep that in mind as we motor through this online training. So let's have a look at what entrepreneurship is. So for me, entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so that you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. That's what makes me get out of bed every day. I want to spend the rest of my life doing what I love, not doing what people tell me to do. So a little bit about what I've done, and this is just to share with you that I do walk my talk. There is nothing that I tell a client or tell a training student or a participant to do unless I've actually done it myself. So in 2011, I took my children to Anthony Robbins and we walked on fire. Absolutely most mind-blowing, amazing thing that you can ever do. So if you want to do something that shifts your mind space and your thought process, then absolutely recommend that. We then went on to sign up to his program, and we went to Fiji for 3 weeks, to Namali, and we climbed a 50-foot pole and we had to jump off it. Now, I'm going to share something with you that may just freak you out a little bit. So, well, it may not freak you out, but this is where it all comes back to trust and belief in yourself. You can see these pegs here, right? So these pegs were going up the post. We did have a harness on so we didn't fall out. As you can see, this guy here's got the harness on. So going up to these posts, where that rope is there, it was actually about here, was the last peg on this post. So considering my height at 5'4" or 5 foot something. Anyway, when I got to this, we only had one attempt to do this. So when I got to the top of this thing, this was actually, my head was about here. So I'm standing there like this with a harness on, thinking we had to stand on top of the pole, right? So the whole idea, excuse my drawing, was to stand on the top of the pole like that and then jump off. But because I was so short, the top of my rib cage came up to here. So I looked at it and thought, physically, there is nowhere in the world that I can get on top of that pole. I can't. My legs are too short. So I thought if I pulled on the harness string, then I would be able to lean myself back and swing myself up onto the pole. But what happened was the people on the ground thought I was wanting more rope, so they fed me more rope. So I couldn't actually use that as a tool to get up. So it was in this moment that I thought to myself, I've climbed this pole. I've climbed it. I've got to the top. What does this mean to me? And for me, it was about getting to the top and not stopping. However, I didn't have any tools, any foundation, anything to assist me to get to the top, right? So believe it or not, true story, hand on my heart. I put my hand on my heart and I thought, I can't fail. I don't know how I'm going to get to the top. I'm just going to close my eyes and trust that I'm in the right place at the right time, and we'll see what happens. You know, so I did that. And then I cannot tell you what happened, but the next minute I opened my eyes and I was at the top of that post. I don't remember struggling. I don't remember crawling. I don't remember falling off. All I remember is opening my eyes up and being standing at the top of the post and thinking, my goodness me, how did I make this? How did I get here? And for me, it's all about focus, and I was driven, and I wasn't going to let an obstacle about my shape, my size, my physical incapabilities at that stage, because if I had longer legs I would have just sprinted to the top. I didn't let any of that stop me. I just believed that I could. And when I stood at the top of that post and looked out over the beautiful, you know, Fiji Islands and that, the post was wobbling, and then I had this thought to myself. I thought, wow, you know, when you do believe that you can get to the top, whatever that is, your success, and you look back down, I could see the post wobbling and thinking, you know, life, business is not that easy. It always takes determination. So anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. That's a pretty cool story that I love. I went to a couple of other conferences where we were able to break our arrows on our throats. If you're into that, that was probably the scariest thing ever I did. Karate chopped a board, and I've met some amazing people. Now, let me share you this story here with you quickly. This guy here, Kane McNinnis, Kane. Anyway, this guy here, I sat on stage with him and I said to him, I've got 2 businesses. I was running my life coaching and business coaching business, and my social media business, and I said I can do both, and he shook his head and he said you won't do both unless you focus on one business. Neither one of them will succeed. Now that was back in 2010, 2011 as well, and he was dead right. I was focusing too much energy on both businesses and not getting the traction that I was looking for. So he was dead right, big tick to him. Yes, he was right. And then once I stopped focusing on my life and business coaching business and focused on my social media business, then everything started to fall into place. So this is Kurt Ashley. I met him at his book launch in Brisbane, and this is obviously Tony and Sage Robbins, and that's when we're sitting with them in Fiji. I believe in learning. One of my biggest passions is always to be learning. So I always go to any of the National Achievers Congresses when they're around. This is the last one I went to a few years ago in Sydney. I met Brendan Burchard. If you know him, he was absolutely surprised. Look at the look on his face. Now, where can you buy that? You know, talk about customer service or being authentic. You know, you just can't buy that sort of look. And this guy, which I can't remember his name, Les something. I should know it, sorry. And then Tom from America. He was one of the leading salespeople doing sales. So yeah, just a little bit about my background. These are a few people that I've worked with, done some work with Suncorp, Beds R Us. My daughter and I used to run our own breakfast networking event here in Cairns once a month, but it just became, it's hard work. You know, it's hard work. And yeah, I'll leave that one alone. So I just stopped doing that. This is Jo Barnes. She was my inspiration to do, when I was doing social media and just starting out, she was the one that I started to learn the most from. Now, I followed her, I became a client of her, and then she tweeted one day that she was in Cairns, so I tweeted her back and said, hey, how about lunch? And yep, we went and had lunch. So that was really, really great. These are the guys from Create PT Wealth that I'm still currently business coaching their personal training clients with, Jason and Brad, so have a great experience with them as well. Okay, so just a few brands that I've worked with. I don't want to show you that to impress you, but just to impress upon you where your business can go if you believe and focus on it. Now, ladies, women are trailblazing the small to medium business sector in Australia. 93% of our Australian women are business owners. They operate a small business. There is a great opportunity out there for women today, and women are really doing this extremely well. So there's no reason that we won't succeed. A few of my success stories. This is one of my PT clients. He went from 40 clients in 3 months, from no clients to 40 clients, and now he's doing all his work from his home. He has developed an online personal training program. Brett, that was Brett. Chris was probably one of my big successes when I first started coaching him in 2000 and I think it was 2013, we were able to turn his business from face-to-face PT training to online, and he started earning $21,000 a month. He had to spend $10,000 on ads to make the $21,000, but he was one happy little chappy because he didn't want to work face-to-face anymore. And I believe even today, 3 and 4 years after I've coached him, that he's still making that type of money because on Facebook he's telling me. So that's pretty cool for Chris. Mark Nino, he was one of the guys that I worked with in Sydney through a workshop with Create PT Wealth, and he got to the front page and still ranks on the front page. So it's not very hard, it's just all about marketing. So let's have a look at the secrets to your business success for the first time. And even if you already are in a business, you can go back and check out your foundations and see, you know, even for myself, I'm always going back and checking out, have I done this correctly? Could I improve that? Overview of what we're going to cover today. Begin with the end in mind. Understand what your business is and who are your customers, and ka-ching, making the money and the execution, and then make yourself redundant. I am currently making myself redundant. I started off in the social media space doing social media services, and then I saw the potential for the business to grow to training, and now I'm seeing it for being employability skills, and yes, I'm making myself redundant. I'm making myself redundant because I don't want anybody else to make me redundant. I'm going to be the one that makes myself redundant by taking my career down this path, and you need to do the same. So Stephen Covey from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People says you should always begin with your end in your mind. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. Even today when you woke up, you should be thinking about what do you want to achieve by the end of today. Always have that embedded into your brain. So we'll go through this in more detail, but your business, you must have an end in mind. You must be looking at your business having an escape or an end result. So even if your business, you might see your business as being something successful for the next 20 years where you're the CEO of, that's fine. But what is the end result? Every business should be saleable. It should reach a point where somebody can come in and say to you, geez, I want to offer you X amount of dollars. You don't have to sell it, but at least that's the end in mind. What is that end? You should be planning 12 months, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now so that you can stay focused. You need to understand what your business is. You know, for a lot of people, they say I'm in business, but what does that actually mean to you? Excuse me, I just need another drink of water. Does that mean giving you a lifestyle? Does that mean giving you passive income? Does that mean you have to travel? What is your business model? Most importantly, your customers will go into that. I always see everybody stumbles with this one, and myself included. You know, who are your customers? Let's look at how we make money, execute all this, and make yourself redundant. Like I said, make sure that the asset is sellable. So what happens for a lot of people, they're passionate about something, and you've probably read books where it says, you know, find your passion and your purpose and you'll make money. Well, yeah, that can happen. However, is your passion actually what is going to give you the money? Or is your passion going to turn into a hobby and just give you satisfaction and you won't make any money? My business mentor and my life coaching instructor and my business coaching instructor told me back in 2010, you can't call yourself a business if you're making less than $10,000 a month. And I thought, you know, back then I thought, well, geez, if I was making $1,000 a week, I'd be pretty happy. But that's true. You're not a business. You're just self-employed. So you need to think about getting yourself out of the mindset of becoming self-employed and creating a business that is going to give you profits. However, you still need to be happy with what you're doing. So understanding why you are not happy, take the time to learn. You've got to keep on top of your game. Research, you need to submerge yourself and you need to master your skill and provide value. So if your passion is underwater basket weaving, for example, there may not be a big niche for that, but there may be some people out there. You need to do some research. You need to learn your skill inside and out. Obviously, if you're going to do underwater basket weaving, it's not going to be something that can be done easily. You need to master your skill and then provide outstanding value. Now, to me, value can be just those little things. You know, yesterday I went to the gym for the second time, and during the class, the instructor came up and gave me a water bottle. Now, that's not a little thing. Sorry, it's a little thing. It's a $5 cost water bottle, but to me, when I was in that class working my butt off, I went, wow, they took the time to appreciate what I had put into that class. Now, for me, doing what I do well, which is social media, I went back and I tagged them and I put the photo on social media to help them have that experience. But for me as a person, it was a great piece of value that they gave me. So it doesn't take much to provide outstanding value. I guarantee you that a lot of businesses aren't out there doing this. They're actually just chasing the next customer and not keeping their customers for life. So I was also told by another expert, Kerwin Ray, that it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert. Now, I think I'm there. Honestly, after 12 years of working in this space, if I was to work out my hours that I spend every day learning and mastering the skill, I must say I'm there. But I'm not actually going to go out on a limb and say that I am the expert. I think there's still a lot of opportunities for me to learn. I know that every day because things change on social media. So you've really got to set yourself up for success, okay? So if you're going to become an underwater basket weaver, you're not going to be an expert until you put 10,000 hours or more into it. And hey, you know, that's just the way it is. If we were wanting to ski down the slopes of the Swiss Alps and, you know, we wanted to be in the next Olympics, you have to put the hours in there, or what I call the muscle. You've got to work your marketing muscle, or you've got to work your business muscle, you've got to work your HR muscle. You've got to get all that right to be successful. So this is the exciting part. I want you to just grab your pen and a couple of pieces of paper, if you've got them there, as we go through a couple of little exercises. I actually had 2 exercises here for you. I'm just going to go to my notes just so that I can remember what they were. That was it. Okay. So the first piece of paper, I want you to just write down 3 things that if money was not an object of what you would do, you know, what would you do? And this is not about business, this is about you personally. So write down 3 things that if money was not an object, you would be doing this day in, day out. So for me, if money wasn't an object, I'd be looking after my grandchild every day. I might be absolutely exhausted by the time those days are finished, but that's what I would be doing. For some of you, it might be just traveling the world. Others might be, you know, just being home with the kids. It might be, you know, working for, you know, some charity groups. I don't know what it is for you, but just take, you know, a couple of seconds. I'll give you 30 seconds to write down the first 3 things that come to your mind. So we don't want a story, just the first 3 things that pop into your mind. Ready, set, go. This is the time I should be playing some nice music for you. La-di-da-di-da. Okay. 3 things? Awesome. All right. Now on the other piece of paper, I would like you to draw a line down the middle. Now on the left-hand side of the paper, you're going to write down the 5 top talents that you currently have. So these are the things that you know that you're good at. If you know that you've mastered mothership, put down becoming a mum. If you know that you're a brilliant trainer and you can build rapport with people, put that down. If you know that you're great at networking and you're the networking queen, write that down. I don't know what it is for you. If you're great just doing Facebook Lives, whatever you're really good at, write down the top 5 skills that you have, and then we'll move into the next one. So I'll give you another 30 seconds. This is not meant to be something that you think through. This is what comes to you instantly. I'm good at running. I'm good at fishing. I'm good at underwater basket weaving. Whatever it is for you, the top 5 things. It can be hard, ladies, but away you go. I know, and you know, at the end of this, you can share with me. I would love to hear what you have to say about it. I'm going to give you a bit longer on this one because I can already feel the energy is like, oh my God, what am I good at? You're good at everything, but what are the top 5 things? All right. Now, the next step on the right-hand side of your paper is to write down the 5 things that you are interested in. So these are the things that you enjoy. So for me, I love personal development. I love social media. I love business. I love reading. I love spending time with my family, but that's probably not an interest so much. You know, I love learning. That's a big thing for me. So write down what interests you. So they're the things that you find interesting. Ready, set, go. I'll give you another 30 seconds to do that. Okay, ladies. So the reason we've done this is because when you look at that piece of paper with your 5 top skills and your 5 interests, if you don't know what your business model is, if you don't know why or what you want to do in the business realm. This is a great tool just to have a look at the both and marriage them up, because whatever you're good at and whatever you enjoy doing, if you can put the two of those together and make a business out of it, you're going to make a successful business. It also takes that whole pressure of, find your passion. I don't know how many books I've read still thinking, wow, is that my passion? Is that my purpose in life? Is that what I'm meant to be doing? There seems to be a lot of pressure around this whole passion and purpose in life, place that people talk about. By doing this activity, you look at it, you see it. This is what I'm good at, and this is what I'm passionate about. Put the two together and you've got a brilliant business concept. So I'm sure that you've all seen these people. These are some of the multi-billionaires in the world. In particular, this lady, you should all know her. But I read no, I didn't read it, sorry. I was listening to a podcast on the weekend about this gentleman that had interviewed all billionaires in the world, and he talked about the three successful steps that they take. Okay, so the first step that everyone in business to become a multi-billionaire does is they have laser focus. They have focus, they come up with their idea and they stay true to that idea. They don't go off finding shiny objects. They stay clear and concise. And the only way that you get clear and clarity around them is by creating a business plan of some sort. If you want to, you can go to queensland.gov and download a business plan template and work through that. Now, if you never open that document up again, I don't particularly care, but from taking the steps to actually filling that document out will give you absolute clarity around your business. So that's the first thing they said, that they're all focused. The second thing, and I need to quickly go to my notes because I can't remember. Oh, the first thing was that they had an idea that scared them to success. Sorry, I've got my notes up and running now. So they had an idea that absolutely petrified them. They didn't know how to do it, but they were determined to get there. The second was their laser focus. They didn't run off the topic. They stayed focused no matter what. And the third one, which is the one that I absolutely love, is they continued their learning. Never did they stop learning and mastering their skill set and their knowledge. And that, my friends, is the 3 steps to success in business. Now, we already know that these people are successful because of their status. They're billionaires. So number 1 is having an idea and then staying on track. Having an idea that scares the hell out of you, and then number 2 is staying focused on how you're going to achieve that idea and have a strategy around it or a business plan, and number 3 is learn, 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 learn. Don't lose sight, or don't ever become complacent that you know everything, because you don't. So what type of business are you going to go in? I'm going to run through this quickly because I think you all are up to speed with this, but we've got our manufacturer. Are you going to create some massive product that's going to change the world? Are you going to be a distributor? Are you going to be a retail outlet? Are you going to look at a franchise option? Are you going to look at multi-level marketing? And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm involved in one company. It's the top 6 in the world, and actually it's number 1 in the world, and it generates good income. So, even if you have no idea about where to start, look at something multi-level marketing. But it needs to what's the word I'm trying to say? It needs to be congruent with you. There's no point just running off and doing, Avon or Amway or whatever else is out there if it doesn't feel right for you. It has to feel right. Are you going to do your business purely online? Are you going to do online courses, online training, online products, online personal training? Or are you going to do offline business? You're going to work from home, or you're going to do both. So you need to be clear on what is your business structure and type. So we all know what a manufacturer looks like. That's great. I'm not going to spend any time here. We all know that as a distributor, you're actually going to distribute somebody else's product, which can be called also direct selling, which is also similar and very much the same as multi-level marketing. You're direct selling, you're taking out the middleman. You've all seen the franchises. They cost you about $1.5 million to enter in, so you really need a good cash flow to tap into this space. Now, your business growth. Sorry, I got to go back to my notes. In order to strike success, there must be a balance between relevance and being different. So what I mean by that is that you need to be relevant to the marketplace, but you also need to see what we call a vacuum, an opportunity to grow within your business that, again, your competitors aren't doing. In order for your business to grow also, you need to have a success plan. You need to begin with the end in mind. So, even if 2, 3, 4, 5 years is too far for you to think ahead, at least think of what the next 12 months is going to look like. So you need to have a plan to get there. You need to be strategically planning and then create the operational tasks. They're two components of a business. So again, strategically planning is your business plan. Now, a lot of my clients don't like filling in that 5 to 10 page business plan that I mentioned with you before. They just find it too time consuming, and I always say to them, look, if you don't take the time to plan, then you're planning yourself to fail. So my first suggestion or coaching you guys would be to get that business plan and have a look at it and start just writing down your thoughts about what does your business look like. So that's your strategical planning part. And inside that, you'll also be looking at your finances and your budget. Most business owners close their eyes to the finance side because they don't want to know that they're not making money, or they don't want to know. I've got one personal training client, she was working for $3 an hour when we sat down and worked it out, and she said, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm only working for $3 an hour. In 3 months we turned that around where she's now pulling $1,000 a week out of her business. But you need to know your numbers as well, and then you need to know who's going to do what. In the early days of your business, you are going to be the CEO, you're going to be the HR manager, you're going to be the bookkeeper, you're going to be the marketing manager, you're going to be the sales manager. That will be a role that you will take on board. However, as your business grows and makes money, then you can allocate different personnel into those different boxes and remove yourself. So who's going to operate what in your business? Or ideally, are you going to outsource it? So you might choose to have a virtual assistant to help you. You might employ a social media specialist to do your marketing. You might, you might find, somebody else to do your sales calls or whatever. So understanding your business, the power of your purpose. So you do have your genius, you need to tap into your genius, and then you need to create your mission statement. This is probably one of the biggest and the hardest things for any business to do. So you're going to create a mission statement which shows how you're going to do what you are doing. So my mission statement is creating opportunities through the power of knowledge that will change lives. So a mission statement is so powerful. When you meet somebody for the first time and they say, what do you do? If you can, another word would be a unique selling proposition as well, a USP. But if you can sit there and say to them, look, I create opportunities through the power of knowledge that will change lives, that's an absolute opener of a conversation point there. They're going to ask you, well, how do you do that? If I said to them, I'm a social media specialist, they'll go, oh yeah, I know what that is. Well, they don't know what you do, right? So you need to create a mission statement. It keeps yourself on purpose. When the business, is having those down days, it gives you the opportunity to read your mission statement and go, yes, I'm on track. Am I doing this today? Yes, I'm on track. It keeps you dry. It helps you drive. So I have two mission statements. I have one for my business, which is this one, and I'll read you my personal mission statement. So when I'm having a down day, and yes, we all do have them, I read my mission statements and I go, wow, am I on track or am I off track? Is what I'm doing today in line with my values and my mission or not? And my personal mission statement is, I am the authentic self who unlocks love, abundance, and success. I share my knowledge and experience, inspiring others to do the same. So when I look at what I'm doing in my business, I look at my mission statements and I say, yes, I'm on track, or no, I'm not. So create a mission statement and put it on your website, put it on your bio on your Twitter, put it in your bio on your Facebook page, your LinkedIn profile. Show people what you are about. People want to do business with authentic people. That's really the end of the truth. People don't want to see some facade or some promise that you're not delivering. They want to see the guts and the glory. Excuse my, words. However, the biggest hurdle that you're going to jump on your way to success is the one that you cross is when you overcome yourself. Now, I see this in every single client I coach. Mindset, mindset, mindset. It's not the main thing, it's everything. You have to change to get what you want. You do have to change. If how you are now is not working, you already have, you've already, if now, I'll read it properly, if how you are now were working, you would have already reached the goals. I can tell you so many stories about my personal training clients. You can get two clients, exactly the same business, exactly the same street if you wish, in exactly the same town. One will have a mindset of, I can do it, how do I do it, show me what to do it, I can get there. And within 12 weeks, or in some cases 4 weeks, that client has put a Facebook ad out, they've got 30 or 40 leads. Like I was just saying about the client a minute ago, Sharon went from $3 an hour to $30 an hour, I think she's drawing, and she had the mindset of doing. She was going to do this no matter what. Now, I've got other clients who the coaching is not different, it's exactly the same, and they go, oh, I can't do it, it's not going to work for me, it's all too hard. And they're the ones that will do the Facebook ad and not get any leads. They're the ones that will go out to a networking event and not talk to anybody. And they're the ones that will come back and say, none of this stuff works, Leanne. That's because of their mindset. So you need to be aware of where your mindset is and how you want that to change, because you will continually self-sabotage yourself. I guarantee it. Doesn't matter how much mindset work I've done, I still find myself second-guessing myself. Just recently I was successful to go to Brisbane for the Myriad festival at the end of the month. Now, at the time when I wrote the application, I knew the product was innovative. When I found out I was successful, I was excited. Now, a week after, I'm second guessing myself, like, oh, are you sure they didn't make a mistake? I'm not sure that my product is innovative. I'm not sure that I should really be there. Am I worthy? All this stuff goes on. So we need to maintain the positive mindset. So where did it all come from? This is what our brain looks like. We have an unconscious part of our brain, we have a subconscious part of our brain, and we have our conscious. So in this section here, our subconscious is where all our programs are. So this is your belief section. This is where we run our life, our business, our personalities. Everything operates from here. Obviously, the unconscious part is when you're out cold, right? And the conscious part is where you make a decision to go to the shop, or I'm going to go and do this now. So what happens in our brain is we don't upgrade this program. Imagine your computer, imagine your brain being computer. If your computer was still running on Windows, what was the first version? I don't know, DOS. Let's go back to DOS. If your computer was running with a DOS program, you wouldn't be able to access everything else that's new out there in the land of technology, right? So these programs, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, are installed into our subconscious between the ages of 1 and 7 years old. This is when all our belief systems were installed. What we saw happening within our families, I'm not blaming anybody, I'm just letting you know this is what goes down. So between the age of 1 and 7, your brain is creating what is true to you in your belief system. So if you have a belief system or a mindset that money grows on trees, you'll always believe that money is hard to get. If you believe the rich are, are not nice people, then you'll never become rich, because you have this subconscious belief. So this is what I'm talking about. Now, not to get into it too much, but the more tense we become, the more we tap into the conscious part of our brain. Oh, come on, give me my pen back. The conscious part of our brain, the more relaxed we are, we're in the subconscious. So for example, I'll give you a scenario. You're walking down the street, there's a lady coming towards you, she's waving, hello Leanne, how are you going? Hi, hi, hi. And you're thinking, I don't know her, where do I know her from, where is she, I can't remember her. And you're actually getting more and more tense. So you're not able to tap into this information in the subconscious brain. The more tense you get, the further her name escapes you. So then she comes up and asks you how the kids are and all that, and you just call her mate or love because you can't remember her name. Then you walk away from her. Then at 3 o'clock in the morning you wake up going, oh my God, that was Leanne. Okay, so we need to stay focused with tapping into the subconscious part of our brain, because that's where our programs are. And once we're in there, we can also change the programs and change your mindset. Another great thing about business and mindset is we have this beautiful little part of our brain here, and you thought I was going to talk about business, didn't you? Now there you go. So we have this part of our brain called the reticular activating system. And how this works, it's like a Wi-Fi transmitter, okay? So whatever you're thinking of will then be transmitted out, okay? So for example, think about the last time you were going to buy a car, and it might have been a yellow Hyundai, and then all of a sudden, now you're thinking about buying your car, you will start seeing yellow Hyundais everywhere. That's how the RAS system works. It works because we have something like 2 billion, I should have got the stats right, but you have 2 billion pieces of information entering your brain every day. So the RAS system filters it out for you, okay? Also, your subconscious belief systems do that as well. So the reason I'm telling you this is once you're clear on where you want your business to go and you're focusing on, I want my business to earn $100,000 this year. I want my business to have 25 clients by the end of this year at $25,000 or whatever it is for you. The more you focus on it, the more that you'll see the results, because there is an actual part in our brain which actually does this and helps us. So that's it. That's my brain education for today. So your self-talk, how this all works, is the way you talk to yourself in your mindset. I can't achieve it. My business is not going to be a success. My idea is crap. Will then become a belief. And then if you believe it and maintain it long enough, you will see the proof through your RAS system. So self-talk about how successful you are. My business is a success. My business is unlike any others. I create great opportunities for my clients, etc., etc. Do that enough times, you'll reprogram your beliefs in your subconscious, and then you will see the proof. Our brain looks something like this, ladies. It's neurons, they fire. So if you imagine at the moment your beliefs are like a highway, it's just easier to go down that road because it's already paved, it's already concreted, bitumened, and everybody is going the right way. The minute you want to create a new belief system, which may look something like you want to go from here to here, and maybe this new belief system is, I am worthy, my business is successful. You can see there's hardly even a path there. There's no neurons connecting. So the more that you do the self-talk and belief, then your new neuron will be like a highway. The more you do it, the more you'll see the results, and then you've created a new neuron, which is all scientific as well. I'm not making this stuff up. Then you'll have a neuron like this one here, which is nice and strong. So next time you think about your business, you'll automatically go into the mindset of, I am successful. Sorry, I get really excited about how the brain works and belief systems and mindset. So sorry. I'm not sorry. It's just cool. That's the way it is. So how do we make this all work? You need to start with a vision. Now, if you're visual, create a vision board. I have a whiteboard which I have my plan set down on. I've got pieces of paper on my wall with my flow charts of how it's going to work. I have my little book of bright ideas where I dump all the stuff in that, you know, is the bright and shining objects. And I absolutely believe in what I'm doing. The turning point for my business success was believing that there was somebody who wanted this product or service. For many years, it was just an idea floating around, hoping somebody would pick it up. I even had my car badged for 4 years with social media training and funding available when nobody was doing it. So I believed in the product. I believed that it would happen, but I didn't put the time and energy to go and seek it. So I'm telling you this because you need to have that vision. Do the business plan, do your goal setting, do your vision board, do your, you can do it on video now on your phone, but whatever you do, make sure that you're clear so every time you walk into your office, you know exactly what you're wanting to achieve. Another little story I need to share with you is the bumblebee. My little friend, the bumblebee. So a bumblebee does not have the aerodynamics to fly. As you can see with the size of our bumblebee around here, his body mass is too big, and he has these he has these little wings here. So if you research the bumblebee, you'll find out that these little wings here cannot make him fly. The thing is, nobody told the bumblebee that he couldn't fly. The bumblebee believed that he can fly, and that's how he flies today. It's aerodynamically, he can't fly with the size of the wings to the shape of his body, but he can, and he does, and he goes from flower to flower, pollinating every little flower he can find because nobody told him that he couldn't fly. So your business is like a bumblebee. Don't believe what other people will tell you. For years, people told me that my business was just a stupid idea, and actually, they've told me all my businesses were a stupid idea. So surround yourself with support people. That's key number 2. But if you believe in something, you might be just 3 feet from gold. That's another little saying that we have. You could be 3 feet from gold, so don't turn around and give up. You know, make sure that you've done your homework. You know that there's a platform, there's an audience, believe it and you will succeed. The richest people in the world look for new and build networks. Everybody else is looking for a job. Just love his thought process, Robert Kiyosaki. So, number 2. I don't know why somebody wants to drill right now, sorry. Number 2, you need to have marketing. So what's your plan for marketing? It needs to go into your main business plan, but you also need to have a marketing strategy. How are you going to get there? Are you going to use online marketing or offline marketing? Do you have a budget? There's two ways to market. You're either going to have a budget and you can spend the money, or you're going to have to use equity, which is your own self. And what I mean by equity is when many people start out, they don't have a marketing budget. The expense of marketing is the only expense that will give you a return. So every other expense in your business, your staff amenities, your computer, your fuel, your car, whatever, that is a cost to run your business that you will not get a return on your investment. If you spend money on marketing and you do it correctly, then you will get a return on your investment. So how are you going to get there? So with marketing, you're either going to spend money or you're going to use equity. And what I mean by equity is you yourself have to use your own manpower to market until you've got a budget. So that could look like doing your flyers up on, at home if you have to, and walking the streets and putting them in the mailbox. You might have to go to networking events, to get your message out there. You might have to create your first business cards through Vistaprint. There is nothing wrong with any of that. You might need to spend an hour a day on social media connecting with groups, connecting with women groups, connecting with other organisations, answering questions, getting your product and brand out there because you don't have the money to do it. You need to decide where you're at with that. Do you have the money to spend on marketing, or do you have to do it yourself? If you have to do it yourself, do it. It's the only way that you're going to get your product, your service and your business out there, so to speak. Your plan needs to be smart. So with your business plan, you need to be specific, what, where, and how. So you need to understand where do you want to be in 12 months? What does that look like? So let's just say you want to earn $100,000. You need to break that down into 3-month sections. So every 3 months, what do I need to do and achieve in order to reach my end goal? So for argument's sake, my brain's not working as far as numbers, but let's say 100 grand is 50 is 25. So say you want to earn 25,000 in the next quarter, which is 4 months. 4 fours are 24, that'll do. So you need $4,000 a month. Say you sell a product at $1,000 per client. You need to find one client every week in order to reach that goal at the end of the year of $100,000. So you need to break it down into steps. You need to be able to measure this. So at the end of every month, you need to be able to look back at your business plan and say, right, I did my marketing, I put out 100 flyers or 200 flyers or whatever. I went to 4 networking events, I've got 3 leads, I didn't follow them up. Why? There's 3 potential clients. So you need to be able to measure it. Same with your online. I did 10 posts on Facebook, I did 1 boosted post, I didn't get anybody interacting with that ad. I'm measuring my success and working out how do I need to tweak and change it for the next month. Who's responsible for your goals? Is it you? And in most cases it will be you. You'll be doing everything. So I need to make time in my diary to do my marketing, to do my blog post, to do my website, to get up early and go exercise, to go and do my school drop-offs, to go to my networking events. You need to assign tasks for all that into your diary. You need to be realistic too. I've got clients that say to me, I want to earn 200 grand in a year. Now, is that achievable? Yes, some clients like Chris did do that, but do they have the time and the energy and the budget or the equity to make this goal realistic? I'm not saying don't shoot high. You should shoot high for your goals. Your business idea should scare you, but it may not become the ultimate business in a short period of time. It may take you 3 or 4 years to reach there. So you need to be realistic with your goals. If you only have 3 hours a week to spend on your business, then you need to be realistic that your business may not grow as quickly as you hoped. Okay? And then time-based. So what time frame are you looking for? If you have a huge marketing budget, you can bust out this time-based philosophy and reach your goals, by throwing money at any sort of marketing or advertising. But if you don't, you need to be realistic. You need to be aggressive, but you need to be realistic. So you need to really understand that, you know what, and I just love this too for social media. People think that they're going to create a Facebook page, do a couple of posts a week, and oh my God, the leads are just going to come flooding in. Well, that's not true. You need to build up a presence in social media, which can take 6 months, it could take 12 months, it could even take 3 years, depending on how much time you're allocating to that success. Now, the other biggest struggle is that everybody is your target market. I hear this all the time. So who's your client? Oh, everybody. What does everybody look like? Everybody. Well, how can you market in a world online and offline to everybody? I've never seen an ad that has been derived or marketed to everybody. There's always an ad or something that targets the niche. So for online marketing in particular, and even with your offline marketing, your brochures and that, you need to speak to the person in that household who is going to need your services. So you need to be clear on what you do. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to say to everybody else that walks through the door, oh, I can't work with you because you're not my target market. It's about making it clear to the audience of what you're doing. It's about standing out in front of everybody else and saying, yes, I am the social media trainer that you need. I'm not the business coach, the speaker, this, that, whatever else. I am the social media trainer. So if you need training, you come to me. I'm not a business trainer that does social media training. I hope I'm making myself clear there. And this is the biggest struggle that business owners have, because you feel like you're putting yourself into a pigeonhole. But trust me, you're not putting yourself in a pigeonhole. You're making your marketing go further by being clear on what your services are. You need to go what they call narrow with your niche, and then everything else will come. Even do some research on your target market, which you should have done back in the beginning of your strategic planning. But do some research and find out how many people are actually wanting your service. Sorry, I'm just going to have another quick drink. There are people making money online by selling a course on how to build a chicken coop. This person I know, because I did the same course as him, has 400 people subscribing to his website at $27 a month. Now do the sums. I haven't got a calculator in front of me, but that's a nice little amount of money, to be having coming in every week. Now, who would have thought that there is a niche to build a chicken coop? Okay? Frank Kern, one of the wealthiest online marketers that's been around since the 1990s, made $1 million in one day by selling an ebook on how to make your parrot talk. So hopefully I'm inspiring you with some ideas. Going back to the beginning where your list and you had what you were good at and what you were passionate, what was your interest in, there is an absolute need in the world today for these 3 sectors. I'll tell them to you. Personal development. It's a massive growing industry online. It's been growing for the last 10 years and I can't see it stopping. and business coaching and online courses. And the other one, which I did have on my whiteboard, but I've rubbed it off, is online niche training. So if you can find something that somebody needs training in, and it's niched, like how to build a chicken coop, then you'll become quite successful. Okay, so there's some tips for you. You need to understand who that customer is. Will they pay for my product and service? Am I focusing on my passion and not the profits? Again, are you just going to do this for fun and not actually make any money? And who is already selling this? So with your target market, you want to find people that A, have the client before you. You know, I always use this for my PTs. So obviously they're interested in fitness, maybe a person that does a lot of fitness training or triathletes or whatever, maybe goes to massages once a week. So there's the person that you can do your business-to-business networking with. Who and what is selling the product like you? You need to really become good at investigating the competitors and watching who they are and how can you improve on what they already do, okay? And how do I work out who my target market is? That's brilliant. The easiest way is to look at your competitor, find out, do they sell something similar and of the same price, and then go to alexa.com and similarweb.com and put their website in, and that will tell you what their target market looks like. The research there will show you that they're women between the age of 35 and 44 who earn 100 grand a year, and that will help you determine who your target market is. If you have an already existing business and you're wanting to get some base and foundation from this, then survey the top 20% of your clients. You know who they are. They're the ones that they're the A class. They're the ones that love your work and keep coming back and never give you grief. Do a survey on them and ask them, what do they like about your product and service? What do they think is the most benefit from it? And then you'll have a good understanding of, you know, who your target market is. And why do customers buy from you? Well, it's quite easy. They like you. You were referred to them by a trusted source. Online is a big one, and you're considered an expert in your field. So for you guys out there starting off, you really need to get some sort of online presence to show that you know your stuff. I know you know your stuff, you know your stuff, but your mindset probably tells you, what do I know? The thing is, you do know more than your customer. When I was studying to become a mortgage broker, I had 2 weeks in Brisbane. We had training. I left that workshop thinking, I have just become the worst person, or the most hate is a strong word, person that I don't like. So what I'm trying to say is I became a salesperson and I hated salespeople. I thought they were sleazy, but all they taught me was how to sell. And I walked away thinking, I don't even know how to write a loan. And the trainer said to me, you know more than your potential client does about loans. And I knew not a lot. I was going to swear. I didn't know a lot. I knew what an LVR was and I knew how to open the computer, but that was it. And he said, trust yourself. You know more than they know. And that's it. You know more about your field than your client does. I'm not saying fake it till you make it. That works. However, you do know more, so trust in yourself. Now, where are you going to get your leads from? You've got social media marketing, as you all know I'm extremely passionate about, versus traditional marketing. They both work. Going back to your marketing muscle and your marketing budget depends on how much you've got to spend, depends on how much information you're going to get back. How much leads you're going to get back. But ideally, if you start off with social media marketing, you should be able to get some cost-effective ads done, knowing who your target market is. If you don't know who your target market is, you're going to miss the mark completely. You're going to be spending $3 or $4 a day on a potential lead that doesn't even want your product or service. I know just recently I thought I had a product and service for the PT sector and it was costing me $8 a click. I've never paid so much for a Facebook ad in my life, and I thought, $8 a click, I've completely missed the mark. You know, I got 8 people clicked the ad and no one signed up. So, you know, you really need to be clear on what that is, that target market, and then how you're going to go out and get leads. You may need to do some traditional networking. You may need to go to a number of, there's great networking places all around, even in Cairns, there's a number of networking events you can go once a month and catch up for a coffee or whatever. So go check them all out, do some research. Like I've already said, the budget versus the muscle. So have you got a budget to spend. If not, you're going to use your equity and build some muscle to do the groundwork, or get your kids to do it. Pay them $5 to go and put out a heap of flyers for you. Now, thinking about what you're going to sell, your story is the most powerful piece of content that you have. It's your why. Really, when you think about it, what you're doing in business is based on your why. It's what people will relate to you, and it will generate your leads and sales. So what I'm saying there is, you know, for lack of budget, maybe you could share your story on Facebook or do a video on YouTube, and then make sure that you got your keyword. And by sharing your story, you'll be absolutely connecting with that person who is your target market. You talk to them as you were feeling and they will respond. So think about your story. Social media is becoming a very it's becoming storytelling platform. The clients, the consumers on social media want to hear stories from family and friends, so why not share your business story? This will be the easiest piece of content that you'll ever make, and really it's probably the most heartfelt piece of content that you ever make. And include your mission statement, and then you've got a piece of content that you can share over and over again. Even Facebook is doing stories now. So background before, you know, your story might be before you started you were XYZ. How did you find your business? What is it new about your business? What excited you about this business? What have you experienced to date? And your vision and your why. So as I was saying about your mission statement and why are you here? So the ka-ching part, you know, most people think the ka-ching part is making money. Well, it is, but in order to start making money, you need to make sure that you've got your legalities done, your legal structure, your organizational structure, and your financial structure. So your legal structure will be, am I going to be a company or a partnership? Am I going to be a sole trader, or am I going to have a trust? Depending on your own financial circumstances will depend on how you structure your business. Most people will be not self-employed, get rid of that mindset. Most people going into business will be a sole trader to start with, because that's the easiest legal structure. Sole trader means that you operate as yourself. So it might be, for me, Leanne Peard, trading as social media specialist. I would need an ABN. You need to research your business name through ABR, Australian Business Register. You need to search that that's available, and you'll need to register your business name. It'll cost you about $87, I think, for your business names. However, don't ever think that your business name gives you rights to your product. I'll share a quick story. My son started his business 3 years ago as a sole trader, and he did his business name. It came back from ABR that he had legal rights to his business name. He traded for 3 years. His business name was completely different to another business here in Cairns. However, because he was doing so well, the other business was actually, believe it or not, losing money, but that's his thing. I don't think it had anything to do with, I think Bradley was just marketing his business extremely well. Hello, he had a good teacher and coach who actually, his business started to grow. So he went from the back of a ute to a small car, and he badged it to now 3 vans. So when this other person saw in the same suburb this van of his driving backwards and forwards all the time, he decided to put a trademark against him. So what the other business did was went and trademarked their name and then took him to court. So even though he had done nothing wrong, he didn't own that name. The other gentleman went and jumped on board and trademarked the name, so therefore Bradley had to, in the end, pay $15,000 in court costs. He had to close down his website, his Facebook page, and actually rebrand his company. But he was very clever. He kept the same branding, i.e. the colour scheme, and changed the name. And from that, his business has just gone through the roof again, making more money. So the legal structure is important. If you have a product or service that you think other people may want to take over or use the name of, then it would be well advised to go and seek out some trademark opportunities. It'll probably cost you about $1,400, but that means nobody else can use it, and you'll be secure, and you won't have this worry about somebody else coming in thinking you're a threat. So get some legal advice and also some accounting advice on what your structure looks like. Then look at your organizational structure that we spoke about in the beginning. So get your little flow chart of what your business is going to look like. You're the CEO, you're the admin, you're the bookkeeper, you're the salesperson, you're the social media specialist, and put your name in each one of those boxes, and then start thinking about how can I outsource this if the budget will allow it, who can do what for me, and then allow space for you for your business to grow. You have the organizational structure, which will be in your business plan as well. And then as your business grows and the money comes in, then you'll be able to allocate that role to whoever. Most important thing is your financial structure. So are you going to keep working part-time, full-time until your business replaces your income? That might be a goal that you have in the next 3 to 6 months. What are your expenses? So you need to be clear on what it's going to cost you for this business. You need to be clear on how much you want to earn. And then what I suggest you do is not focus on your budget, but focus on a forecast. So create another set of accounts, something that you can see quite often, and say, this is my goal. My goal is not to cut even at $1,000 a month in income. My goal is to make my business income $10,000 a month or $4,000 a month. So you're doing a bit of a mind shift here. You're not focusing on what you need to have to survive. You're focusing on your goal. So if your goal is to, as I said in the beginning, make 100 grand in a year, then you need to break that down to, okay, I need $4,000. No, you need more than $4,000 a month. Anyway, you need $8,000 a month in order to reach that goal. Okay, so think about your financial structure. Get yourself a good accountant. You're probably not going to need an accountant until the end of that financial year, but look at your bookkeeping system. Are you going to use an online bookkeeping system like Xero and QuickBooks and MYOB? They're all really great now. Back in the day when I was doing it, you had to be on the computer for hours inputting data. Now you take a photo with your receipt and it links to your bank account. Absolutely mind-blowing what it does, and even does your BAS statement. So what does that look like? This is the basis of your ka-ching. If you don't have this right, then really everything else is going to fall apart around you. And make yourself redundant. Have a plan in mind to have your business saleable. You want to work hard to get to a point where you are a profitable business and somebody comes along and says, I'll give you X amount of dollars for that business. You don't have to sell it. You might choose to put your business on autopilot and then have another spelling mistake there for those of you that didn't pick it up. I did. And then also have that work-life balance. So think about making yourself redundant. Think about the end in mind. You don't want to be struggling for the next 10 years to make a living from your business. You want to be able to make your business live for you. Now this is the way it looks. You're going to look at what are you naturally great at? What are you naturally good at? What's your genius zone? You know what your genius zone is. We all have one. It's just a matter of digging in there to find out exactly what that looks like. You're going to create a story around your brand and product. You're going to do some research on your target market, and that will become your big idea, your big business, your big bang. You can do it. You can tap into your genius zone. You can be your own boss. You can work the hours you want. You can create the ideal lifestyle, and you can have extra cash if that's what you choose. So that's about it for me. I do have a product that I wanted to share with you, but please don't feel any way or mean that you need to do it. This is just something that I'm putting out there. I know that I will continue to do these webinars at $27 because I want to share the information with you all. They will be on my website. You'll see what's coming up next. But I thought I'd throw this out there as well. You may be interested, you may not be. I'm not sure where you're at, but let's just have a look. This is one thing I was going to quickly share with you, is the #1 company that's growing in the world. If you don't know what to do, you don't know where to start, you don't have a product, you don't have a service, then you may choose to look at a company called Jeunesse. I've met this lady, she's from Melbourne, and 3 years into this business, she's making 25 grand a month. That's just, that's just amazing amounts of money. This lady also comes to Cairns regularly. Her name is Liz Freeman. She's making $11,000 a month. And you're probably thinking, how do you do that? This product is called Jeunesse. It's been all over the world, all over the magazines, and yes, I use this product and I love it, and it's anti-wrinkle and it makes me look younger, which is what I'm really about. Everything starts, small. So this, look, honestly, I can tell you this company is 6 years old. It's #1 in the world. It's the fastest growing company. It has the right products. The annual sales are over $1 billion a year. It's in 121 companies, and it has the most leading technology in skincare and weight loss. I'm not going to sell this to you. Go and Google it. I can tell you that this photo up here, 2010, I had wrinkles around my eyes. Let me show you all these wrinkles around here. I used this product for 1 month and they were considerably less. This is just one product. This is what the lady's legs looked like before she used Luminesse. This is what she looked like after. This lady with eczema and or acne got rid of hers. This is my girlfriend's arm. Within 1 month, this was where she had a plate removed from a scar on her arm. She started using the Luminesse product, and with 1 month, this was the end result. So you can just see what this does. And again, I'm not trying to flog it off to you. I just want to share with you the opportunity. So today I'm going to talk to you about Discover Your Genius. If you're interested, I'm happy to do 8 online training packages. We'll cover discovering your passion, we'll cover your market research, we'll look at creating the ultimate product or service, we'll look at running your business from home and what you need to do there, we'll look at legal structures in more depth. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an accountant, I can only tell you what you should be looking at. We'll look at some sort of marketing mix and how that will work for you, who operates what, and your finances. Oh, I need to tell you this. There is some match funding available for you, a business owner, today. It runs out in the first week of April. I did post the link on my Facebook business page, so go check that out. What it is the government will fund up to $10,000 on anything to do with your digital expenses. So if you wanted to hire me as your social media coach or a digital coach, then that money would be payable, or you would get paid back for that. If you wanted to do your own social media training, or maybe you want to hire me as a trainer, maybe you want to do some website stuff or some marketing online, they will match you up to $10,000, which means if you spend $10,000, you'll get $5,000 back from the government. So go and check that out. It's for every business owner. You need to, the criteria is you need to be earning less than $2 million a year, which I think we're all in that category. Go check it out, make application, and then use your money wisely, because the government's going to match it back. The only thing that you need to do is give a report at the end of the year of where you started from with your digital space, whether it's training, coaching, mentoring, whatever, and what it's done for your business. So please, please, please go look into that. I'm definitely going to look into it for myself. So yeah, go check that out. So Discover Your Genius. You'll get full support if you decide to venture down this track with me. We'll have 3 monthly coaching sessions, and you'll get 3 months of email access. The whole thing is valued, and you know how they do this. This is actually valued at this. This is what I do charge my existing clients, my PT clients, to use my services. But I want to give you some awesome bonuses. For those of you that stayed with me today, I want to give you my life and management modules. These are 12 life coaching modules, which are the basis of any success. You do have to do some work here. You do need to read the little modules. They're only about 4 or 5 pages, and you need to answer them. With my hand on my heart, I can tell you right now, when you do this, something magical happens. It taps into the subconscious brain. I cannot explain it, but what you will look at is your life-work balance. There's a module on goal setting. There's a module on your mission statement. There's a module on self-sabotage. There's a module on time management, and there's a module on procrastination. Now, they are valued over $400. I don't sell them anywhere else. I hardly ever give them away because I treat them as gold, but because I've done my life coaching course, I can actually share them with my clients. So for you today, I will give you access to these 12 modules. They are life-changing. I just can't tell you. They are life-changing. So I'm happy to share that with you. If you take up the program, you'll get my interviews, and they've actually grown a little bit more, but we've got Ivan Meisner is the owner of BNI International. Jason Urbanez is the director of Create PT Wealth. Some of you may know Megan Ballas, and obviously my awesome son Bradley, who needs to update his school photo. all about how their business has been successful. You'll also get my business template. I have a one-page business template, which is so cool. I get all my clients to fill this in. It really helps work out what you want to do and achieve for the next 3 to 6 months, or even monthly, or even weekly. And also my social media content diary, which I think some of you on the call have already got that. So here's what you get: the Discover Your Genius program, 3 one-hour group sections, 3 months email content, plus my life and life. You'll get my life modules today. You don't get the money modules, but you will get my life modules today for being on this call with me. But if you sign up, you'll get the money modules as well about your money mindset. You get the interviews and the templates. Value is $8,000. Can you do this any other way? I can guarantee you I charge my coaching clients $1,500 to $1,800 a month. That's what they pay me. You could go study a diploma in business, which will cost you about $5,000. You could do a certificate 3 or 4 in business, which will cost you about $3,500. Or you can work with me. You don't have to pay that much today. I'm actually giving you this because I want your success to be mine. I want to share. I want more females in my webinars. I don't have many females that I work with. I seem to attract men, so I don't want females men anymore. I want to show your success of building a business based around a $25,000 a month income. And I'm going to give this to you today for $497. No obligation, just an opportunity to work with me. If it's not your thing, I'm okay with that. Go get the $10,000 from the government and then come back to me and we can do some social media coaching. But if you did want to look at the opportunity for Jeunesse, what they will give you is the #1 company in the world. You'll get 1 month stock. You'll get complete online training. You actually get your own website created for you as well. You have your own mobile app, which just makes marketing so much easier. There is a Facebook group that gives you support, and there's lead generation tools. Now that, to get involved in that business, is only $310. So to me, that was a no-brainer. And you're probably thinking, how much are you making, Leanne, from this? Well, I haven't put a lot of energy and focus into this business. I joined because I liked the products. I could see what the products were doing for my skin. How much am I making? On average, about $100 a month. So I've signed up 6 people and I'm making $100 a month. So at the moment, it actually covers my product. And when I get time, after I've finished creating the most amazing social media program and online training programs in Australia, then I will come back and focus on this. So again, what you focus on grows. I'm not focusing on this, but it's just a great product and a great opportunity for those that may not know what they want to do. Oh. So you get a 30-day risk guarantee. If you don't like the modules, you're having them anyway, but if you don't like anything, I'll definitely give your money back. As I said, $497 for the program. If you want to join Jeunesse, that's complete, absolutely optional extra. Yeah, that's an optional extra. So I forgot to put a questions box in here for you guys. So any questions from our call today? Anybody have a question about starting up a business? Anybody have any questions whatsoever, throw them at me. I'd love to hear from you. If you don't know of what they are now, you know my Facebook profile, so feel free to shoot me a message. I'm on Messenger most of the times. Don't shoot me a message like somebody did 3 o'clock yesterday morning. I'm like, who does that? Who's awake? But obviously he was dedicated on his business success. So yeah, shoot me a message if you've got any questions. If you want to buy the program, send me a message. I don't have a landing page. I don't have nothing. It was just an idea that I thought that you might be interested in learning more. I will be having as I said, these online trainings. I will do another one probably once a month at this stage because I'm a wee bit busy. So yeah, once a month I'll do the $27 webinar where you can learn more. If there's something that you want to learn, shoot me a message and say do a webinar on this, and I'm more than happy to put it together for you. So any questions, guys? I've nearly gone on time. I said about 11 o'clock we'll be finishing. No questions? No questions. All right. Well, thank you very much for all of you for joining me today. I hope that you've got some benefit. I hope that you're going to go download a business plan from business.gov. I hope that you're going to definitely make sure that you're congruent with your with your product and your service, or your passion and your interests. I hope that you're definitely going to get some, I know you're going to get some value out of the life modules. I know it. I don't know how I'm going to send them to you yet. They're on Word documents, so just give me a few days to work out how I'll try and email them all to you actually individually and see if that works. Please take some time out to do those modules. They are absolutely mind-changing. I cannot tell you what will happen. You'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning going, wow, I just had this massive insight. So please, please, please do them. If you do nothing, please do those. They're absolutely amazing. Create your mission statement, throw it back to me if you want and give me a look at it. But thank you again for giving me the opportunity to spend the last couple of hours with you all. Thank you again for giving me the opportunity to share my knowledge with you. I'm always busting at seams with the amount of knowledge that I know. A really good book that you should read is Have Your Cake and Sell It Too by Jason Cunningham. He talks about, the 7 steps about making a successful foundation for your business. If you're into online businesses, then read the book called Automate Your Customers. Talks about how you can take any sort of business and have a reoccurring income. Talking about that, because I can talk for days, think about the nails, the nail salons we have at the moment. They have the best automatic customer business going. People go back every 3 to 6 weeks to get their nails infilled. That's it. I think I'm exhausted. It's time for me to go get Nana cuddles from my granddaughter, so I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to send me a message if I can help you in any way or means, and make sure that you look out for my email and I'll send you the life coaching modules. They are so cool. Ciao for now. Thank you very much, everybody, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. If I can turn this off.